I was really curious about this industry. There were misconceptions about this job as being a model. Um, well, the idea that got to me wasn't great, but I wanted to see for myself. So, yeah, I tried it on, went to a studio and got hired just out of curiosity.
And how long ago was that you first started?
Oh, around 10 years ago. Around 10 years ago, I think. That's when I started.
Okay, so you have a lot of experience and you've probably seen the industry grow a lot in that 10 years. And
Definitely.
yeah.
It changed and transformed, and I had to adapt. And yeah, technology was helping. Yeah, and I couldn't be happier with, for example, mobile streaming. That wasn't possible back then.
Compared to what are some of the changes or benefits that you really like now as opposed to 10 years ago? I know you just mentioned that you really like the fact that you can stream from your phone, which is so convenient. Absolutely. And I feel like it also kind of helps deepen that relationship with members when you can take them places with you or show them different things. But I'm curious what some other changes are in the industry or on the platform that you think have helped maybe move the industry forward.
Well, from my experience, um, the how to say insert of interactive toys. For me, it was a game changer. Back then, I knew that some other sites had it. I was already working on Jasmine, and well, I was really curious and eager to play like that, to know that someone presses a button from a different corner of the world and I actually feel something. And I felt that was really interesting. Back then, when I started, that wasn't really the case. I had to work with traditional toys, let's say, not the kind that actually use Bluetooth technology. That and mobile streaming, and I think the speed of how you connect to a member has changed. It's so much faster, so much easier right now than back then.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense that now you feel like it's easier to, or it's faster to form that connection, and then it's easier to really maintain it.
Yes. How I started with Jasmine, I was looking on it to all the beautiful girls that were very elegant, sexy, classy, good streaming quality. Um, they had remote controls to their cams. I used the C920, easy to move around. And yeah, that was the difference. I tried to change my way of working and to also be sexy, classy, elegant woman on Jasmine.
I love that. So you feel like ultimately you started on freemiums. That's kind of how you got into the industry. And then you feel like when you encountered Jasmine, it was much more of maybe representative of what you want and who you are. Because when I look at you, I see a very elegant, classy, beautiful woman too, you know?
Thank you.
Uh,
Yeah, well, it was definitely different and the quality was different. So I really wanted that. I like to show quality, give quality, and receive also quality, obviously. So yeah, that was uh, that was why I got on Jasmine.
You mentioned at the beginning of our interview that you just had a lot of curiosity about the industry. And that's one of the main reasons that you joined to see what it is and how it is and what it's about. Because in the beginning, you weren't hearing the best things.
Yes.
Compared to your initial thoughts about the industry and then what it turned out to be, what were some of the differences that maybe surprised you?
Well, back then, of course, there were studios, but I was just a simple citizen. I wasn't aware of what a studio really does, what a model really does. I felt like this job wasn't treated seriously necessarily because, yeah, the way of thinking of my own was that it's not really a real job just by what it was infused in my mind by other people. It's not a real job. It's not serious. It's something very how to say, to not sound too too harsh. It was a job for easy women with that are who are not that serious. That's the idea that I got from people around me about this industry. I got in out of curiosity just because I don't know, I'm just a really curious person. I was also looking for a job. I tried a couple of interviews in different places. Didn't work out because, well, reasons. And yeah, I was like, why not? I want to see exactly what those people are talking about and see if it's true or not. And um, compared to now, with all the experience that I've gained and all the things I've seen, it's quite an impressive industry. Models are making a lot of money, especially very serious models who keep a very on point schedule, uh, like any other job. You make you can make plenty of money, also have your freedom, um, and yeah, the industry is very serious. um, I don't know, it's just like any other job, but better. From how I see it. Just because I'm still here after all those years, that means it's good for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. What I feel like you're saying is, when you first heard about the industry, everyone was saying, oh, it's not a serious career and it's just like a silly job for girls that aren't serious, like you mentioned. But when
Yes.
you got in, you realized, wait a minute, no, this is so much more than that. It can be a real career. Models are making serious money. Models are becoming millionaires. And there are many career paths where there's no way you'll ever become a millionaire from that, and this is one where you absolutely can. And something else you mentioned that I think is really important, and I think it's becoming much more important in today's age, is having still freedom in your life and still being able to have flexibility in your life.
Yeah, I used to tell people right in the pandemic because, well, I was working. I used to tell them, yeah, I work from home since before it was cool. So
I love that. And working from home before it was cool. Yeah. Speaking of the pandemic, do you feel like the traffic on Live Jasmine increased? Do you feel like you became busier or did you not see an increase during that time?
well, I guess there are two ways to see that. The traffic definitely was increased, but I also staged more hours online just because there was nothing out there for me to do. Like my free time was also being spent online just because I couldn't go outside uh, right when it was really the worst. And obviously, staying online more hours more people came as well. And yeah, it was a good time for me, although it was bad for a lot of other people who lost their jobs.
Well, I want to talk about how there was an increase because I want to talk to you about members and from your experience and your perspective, the main reasons they're actually there. We know that during the pandemic, people were closed off from seeing their friends and their family, and they were locked inside, and many people became severely lonely. And that may be one of the reasons that people were starting to turn to online platforms like Jasmin or other ways to connect.
Yes, that is true. A lot of I ask most people who come into my privates, and but not only, why, what made them come here and visit me. And yeah, a lot of people said that they feel lonely, and they sometimes feel like uh, having a chat with somebody, and yeah, just socializing, which was a bit harder during the pandemic, especially for people who were a bit lonely even before. I feel like those people were really severely lonely, and I tried to help as much as possible, try to entertain them, and put a smile on their face, just because yeah, it was pretty tough on some people during the pandemic.
I want to ask you, with all of your experience, I feel like your time in the industry, it's really valuable when you've given something a decade of your life. That's a really significant chunk of time and experience. And I'm sure you heard some of this before you got into the industry, that people believe that this industry is just about explicit sexual content. Has that been your experience, that the members are just there to see you naked?
Mhm. Mostly not, no, mostly not. um I think it's easier, especially after the pandemic, to tell that it's not just the nakedness and the bare skin that attracts people, or maybe it is a little bit, but what makes people stay is other are other reasons, like companionship. They're looking for that, and hey, I'm looking for that too. I want to have a companion to share parts of my day with, and yeah, it's not just the bare skin. The bare skin is can be attractive, but it's definitely not all. Can be, let's say, 20-30%. The rest is conversation, a lot of communication, which without, I don't think a model can really succeed. If you just show bare skin all of the time, don't communicate at all, that is I don't really think that's really the key of success. You must put on a bit more than just a pretty face to have people sticking there with you for a longer time at least.
What's the longest member that you have right now that's still coming to see you?
I still keep in touch with a friend. It was his birthday yesterday, actually. And well, he's been there since the very beginning almost. Uh, we had more conversations in the first couple of years. Now it's a bit less, but we still say, happy birthday to each other. We're thoughtful, and I think that's the longest friendship friendship I've had with a member, and it's based on respect. Around, I think around 6-ish, 7-ish years worth of friendship.
To me, that is extremely indicative of the fact that there is something beyond sexuality that is maintaining a connection like that. It's a genuine caring for that person, which would mean you have to know that person on some level to care for them in that way, you know?
Definitely, yes, that's correct. And well, he's not the only one. I have plenty of people whom I maintain connections with. A lot actually came to me during the pandemic and decided to stay. So for 2 years, almost every day, we meet and I don't know, share bits of our days of to each other.
I love that. So, one of these members that you're talking about right now that you met during the pandemic and you share bits of your days with each other, can you give me some examples of how you share your day with each other?
Like for example, so we talk every day. One of them comes and sees me every day when he can, when he's not traveling, and I talk about the chores I've done before coming online, things I must do, ask him about what color nails to do tomorrow. That's like the example from today. Told him, hey, I will have a surprise. I can't wait to show it to you. Just meet me a bit later on. And I don't know, just normal things you would share with friends. I like connecting that way and befriending people and sharing with them. If they're pleasant and I'm pleasant, I think, you know, it's gonna be a fruitful friendship. And there are times when I may look like I have a problem, takes me private and asks me privately, hey, what is the matter? Is everything okay? If I look down for, I don't know, 2 minutes, it can happen. We're human. If we're staying and streaming hours and hours, some things may be showing on cam. And he tries to ask and he tries to understand what is going on with me at a certain moment. That's just an example, but yeah, usually it's pleasant things.
Yeah, and I think that just shows that this person really cares about you. It's not just, oh, I need you to be perfect and happy all the time. You know, you're a human being, and sometimes we all have hard days or whatever the case is. And for someone to just check on you, like, hey, are you okay? I think that's really beautiful. That's part of the beauty of having connections. And I recently have gotten into cooking. And
Oh, nice.
yes, and my best friend, I will just send her pictures of the new creations or recipes that I'm trying out, and just randomly throughout the day. And then she'll send me hers. And it's what you just described, where you're sharing these little things about life. It's just so connecting. And I'm sure for that member, it makes him really feel like he's part of your life and part of your day, which, if he is feeling lonely for some reason, makes him less lonely. And that's
For
been
sure.
my experience.
Yes, for sure. That's pretty similar to what I do with him. With It's pretty similar. Just like best buddies, we just share everything that we want to share, and usually it's a lot. Like every bit of part of my life that's not shown on cam, usually he kind of knows it. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's how we like to communicate and to share.
Beautiful. How has being on Jasmine helped you grow as a woman? as a person?
In a lot of ways, I definitely became, or think that I've become one of those elegant ladies I used to see before being on Jasmine. Um, like I'm there among them, among the ones that are still on the site, even after a long time. I became confident. Um, I can handle conversations pretty easily. I have a community that really helps me, empowers me, helps me grow, helps me. There, it's always someone there to that I can talk to. Um, I made a lot of friends, a lot of lovers. I'm having fun. I'm super open sexually, which I mean, yeah, sure, in a lot of years, probably that would be about to happen, but a lot more so that I'm an adult worker and yeah, I explore, I learn new things, and yeah, that's that's how it improved my self-confidence for sure.
What is it about your interactions with the members or the platform specifically that you think really helps improve your self-confidence? Because confidence is huge. Confidence, for, in my opinion, is like the foundation for any type of success, for any type of successful relationship, career, anything. So I'm curious what it is specifically that you think helped build you up.
Getting a lot of compliments. It can boost your ego. It can boost your ego. Um, so yeah, I think that is it. The way I'm perceived makes me feel good, knowing that I'm perceived as hot, sexy by those all those men that are watching me. Definitely, that's a boost.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have a fan club of men that just think you're God's gift to the world, I can definitely see how hearing that every day helps you think like maybe I am. And
Yeah, well, some treat me like a goddess, which I'm not mad at it at all. So yeah, I take my role seriously when I'm in that setting. So yeah, it's definitely a huge boost of confidence, and yeah, I hear it every day. I hear it every day. And yeah, it makes me happy. Who wouldn't be happy hearing a compliment every day?
100%, 100%. And if there's someone out there listening to this that is not hearing a compliment every day from a fan club, not everyone has that. But yeah, give it to yourself because I think it's important to receive that in one way or another, whether it's from this legion of people that adore you or even yourself, like giving yourself confidence or compliments to help you believe more in yourself, I think is important.
Yes, true.
What would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned about life, about anything since being on Jasmine?
Hmm, that's a good one. The biggest lesson to be proud of what I do,
Hmm.
which I am. It taught me pride. I don't know if it's a necessarily a good thing, but to be proud of your achievements, uh, I think it's healthy to have your goals set and to meet them. Uh, yeah, yeah, doing your job and I don't know, like buying a house. Hey, I set this goal. I want to buy a house. I want to work extra just to get there easier, faster, and yeah, it's something that can happen. It's if you're really set on your goals, you can do it. Sky's the limit.
Speaking of, let's say, buying a house or other freedoms, or luxuries that come with having money in this day and age. I'm curious, what are some freedoms or luxuries that you've been able to afford that before you weren't able to?
Well, having a job that pays the bills in the from the first couple of days of working it gives you all the freedom to do whatever you want with the rest of the time. Um, so the more you earn, the more, I don't know, vacations you can afford. I think it's pretty obvious that the more you income you have, the more you work, the more income you have, and the more freedoms you can afford to have. Freedoms, I don't know. Yeah, vacations can be seen as freedoms, but yeah, you can totally move to a different country and still be working, or a different city. It happened to me. I just decided to move to a different city just like that. I was still working. I get my job. It was my freedom. I just wanted to have a little bit of escapism. It happened. I came back. But the year I worked kind of remote, right? Because I was from a different city. Yeah, I think that's the freedom that you can have, that you can do basically what you want with your time. Still find uh, time to work and also have fun. Like if you work for like a normal, I don't know, not normal, like anybody else, from Monday to Friday, you have the weekend for yourself. You can do whatever you want with it, but you can also work 2 weeks really intense, just so the third week you take a vacation. It can be done however you wish.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. I love that mentality. Like, you know what? These next 2 weeks, all I'm focusing on is work. And then the rest of the month, I'm traveling to wherever I want. And I'm giving myself a little break because it is important to make sure that you take care of yourself, especially when you do work a lot. What are some of the ways that you have found that it's important for you to prioritize your mental health and to make sure that you're taking care of you?
Usually, when I don't go away on a vacation or a trip, I have this one day for myself where I treat myself with a massage. It's more like kind of a spa day in which I just relax and yeah, it can be at any day of the week. Yeah, I enjoy a good massage. I enjoy a good vacation, a good trip. Um, yeah, mm, that's kind of how I like to to deal with my free time, let's say, and my relaxed time.
Yeah, it sounds like you make sure that you get your rest. So it's like you seem to have really good, like clear boundaries of when it's work time and when it's time to rest, which is really important because sometimes people just want to work, work, work only, and then you get burnt out, and then you can't work anymore because now you're sick.
Well, I've been through that, so I've learned from my own mistakes. I have been through that. I considered myself a workaholic for a while, and I wasn't working too long hours, but I was working every day. I didn't take days off for long periods of time. I just didn't feel like taking days off. Now it's a bit different. I'd rather work an appropriate schedule and also have my free day or a trip at the end of the weekend.
If there was anything that you wish that you could tell the world about this industry, like let's say I'm giving you a microphone right now and everyone in the world is going to hear what you have to say,
You're putting me on the spot.
Yes, everyone. What do you wish that people could understand about this industry or know?
Well, we should embrace our sexuality, that's for sure, and um, just do what feels right for you. Do what makes you happy. Don't hold back just because X or Y would think different of you. It doesn't matter. You you pay your own bills after that. Nobody cares for you. You care for yourself. So your opinion matters the most to you. So yeah, even though there is still a stigma around the around um, this industry, I feel like as long as you're your own person and um, you can provide for yourself and much more. Anybody else's opinion should not matter as much as yours.
That's applicable in so many different areas of life is understanding that you have to live your own life and responsible for that. So make decisions that are best for you, not necessarily what everyone else wants. I feel like I'm still learning this lesson myself. It's hard, especially when you want to make people happy.
We all are. We all are still learning and trying to adapt. And with age, I think, at least in my case, you learn to live this way. I used to be afraid to tell people what I do. My closest friends, when I started working, they did not know. And eventually, I couldn't share this big part of my life because my job is a big part of my life, and I couldn't share that with them. So eventually, one by one, I started telling them, hey, listen, actually, I do this. And they were okay with that. And if somebody judged, I felt like that wasn't their place next to me being my friend. Because yeah, I don't need that, and nobody needs that. We all mind our own business. I mind mine. I don't judge others for what they do. As long as they're better doing it, so be it.
I've loved this interview. Yeah, you are just such a positive energy, beautiful. And I'm sure there are many new models on Jasmin and other sites, for all we know, that probably look up to you because you have had a lot of success on Jasmin. You have really, yeah, you've been one of the top models and you've really grown in many ways financially. You're gorgeous, and
You a lot.
of course. Is there is there any piece of advice that you would give a young or new model that is either just starting out or thinking about getting into the industry?
Oh yeah, definitely. Just be unique, be yourself. Um, Only play a role when you're asked to role play. But I don't know, just be unique. I also see a lot of examples of people copying, which is it can be a recipe for success for some, but for others, I mean, it's better to have your own thing, your own move, your own room, your own, I don't know, to just be a bit different to attract um, people's attention. Yeah, being unique is important. I my sign of uniqueness, for example, when I got on Jasmine, everybody was typing. Everybody was typing. I was only one talking and giving my all through my voice. And yeah, I attracted people through my voice. That was my unique thing. Now it's not that unique because, well, other models started talking too, which is a great thing. Use your voice. It's important.
Yeah, I think it creates that deeper level of connection, if possible, for someone to hear your voice, feel your energy. That definitely it's another layer of going closer. What is the key to being successful on Jasmin?
Be consistent with your schedule. It showed when I wasn't consistent with doing all my hours, it showed a decrease. Because yeah, obviously people are not expecting you to be online as much, so they don't come to you as much. But if you're online all of the time at some certain times, they will expect you there, they will come to you. Um, that is definitely something really important to do. And just be, I don't know, uh, how to say, be entertaining. I think that's the word. Be entertaining. Don't just sit there uh, waiting for Prince Charming to come save you, because I don't think that's a great approach. Um, Try to attract with your good vibes so people can give you their good vibes. That is probably what I could say about it.
That's really, yeah, that's beautiful advice. And it's true. Um, in many areas of life, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, what you think you attract. So if you're negative, you will attract negativity around you. If you, I don't know, focus your attention to a bad comment, people will focus their attention on the bad comment. It will bring people down, obviously, because it's a bad comment. But if you focus your attention to the positive things, um, you can move people's attention to those positive things as well, and everything starts getting better. And yeah, not with bad vibes, which everybody avoids, obviously, and they're bad vibes. Nobody wants that.
100%. Yeah. My final question to you is what is something you're the most grateful for in your life right now?
The first thing that I'm grateful for in life is that I'm able to sustain myself. And um, um, well, with starting this job, I was able to do that for myself. I was fairly young. My parents kept me in college. I didn't want them to pay my bills. I wanted to pay my own bills, and started doing that. And well, it's still happening. And I'm happy that I have all the freedom that I want. If I don't want to work for a month, although that's not the case, I can just not work for a month. And still be okay, still land on my feet. Yeah, I'm free to say whatever I want. I'm free to go wherever I want. So in that regards, that's what I'm grateful for my freedom, and taking my life in my own hands, basically.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Sure, no worries.